have mixed emotions on this Monday, my friends. I'm very happy because, most importantly, it's our good friend New York Rick's birthday today. Hey! Oh, this is great. Wow, there it is. The big NYR. How are you, sir? Happy birthday.
I'm good. How are you?
I was that shot of Connor just clapping and then just be like, "Oh shit, am I on camera here?" How old are we today?
The big 5-0.
Yeah, right.
No, 35.
Oh, 35.
Yeah,
that's not bad.
Well, you say like what?
I don't know
what to make of that.
I honestly,
did we think
I thought older.
Die before?
No. I actually thought you were older.
Wow, young man.
36, 37. Wow. Should we read the email? I feel like, no, I'm kidding.
No,
I'm kidding.
Save that for like.
I'm kidding.
Save that for another time.
Yes. Well, happy birthday! Wow, what a great day for you. I mean, last year you couldn't have been further away from this program on your birthday. Now here you are, a full year later, a mainstay on the Monday program. So this is big.
I honestly don't know what I was doing last year at this time.
August 1st, 2021.
Pay-per-view. I was probably on site.
Oh yeah, Cyril Gone.
Yeah, it was
like I was in Houston for
on the. It was like August 5th or something.
Yeah, I must have been just flying out the next day.
Any big plans?
I'm gonna go home and have dinner with my family.
Oh, what about
lunch?
What are you gonna have
for dinner?
Yeah. I wasn't sure how quickly we get to that, but I will. Let's start it here. Shout out to legendary Mensch, like Mensch of all Mensches, Bill Steinmetz, longtime fan of the show, who had matzo ball soup delivered from Katz's.
Unbelievable.
I mean,
I don't know if that was for you or for me, but you know,
it was for all of us.
I know, but just
for
like
the
the
world.
sentimental, yeah.
I know, but yeah. And feeding the crew with that, and then we got some little cheesecake bites, a real cake. Nobody does it better than Bill. Bill knows how to send the goods. So shout out to fan of the show and friend Bill Steinmetz who took care of us today.
Wow, and also sent you cupcakes.
Yeah, like cheesecake. It's like mini cheesecake bites.
I love it.
And some cake. Yeah, we did well, and Bill, thank you for that. The crew is.
First time matzo ball soup.
It's looking a little sleepy back here. I gotta admit.
Yeah.
I feel like people had their fill and maybe they're checked out, but hopefully we can get back after this intro.
He popped GC's matzo ball soup cherry.
Yeah, that's
what anybody else?
Yeah.
Anybody else first time?
Lost,
No, I feel like just
matzo
GC.
ball virginity.
Yeah. So
It was great. I enjoyed it.
yeah.
Tastes like chicken soup.
What do you think of the texture? Texture is always a big thing.
I liked it. It was tough when I was looking it right in the eye. Right before I went into it, having no idea what it tastes like, just like the giant blob in the broth. I was a little bit nervous, but
never seen bread and soup before.
I didn't hear what Frank said.
Oh, he said, "Have you ever tasted bread and soup before?"
Yeah, it's kind of what it tastes like. I added some oyster crackers as well.
Yeah, not a big fan of the oyster crackers in the soup. There's enough going on there where I feel like it becomes.
Soup.
Oh, it's great soup.
I'd eat it again. I like the tactic. You kind of turn it into a cup after a while.
Yeah.
I like that he said looking it in the eye, like he's having like a stare down with the soup.
I mean, especially when it was in the clear container and it's like it looks like a jar, like it looks like something that should be in a scientist's lab or something.
You know what's always looked like that to me? Another Jewish staple, gefilte fish in the
I can't
jar.
do that.
Oh, yeah.
Can't do that.
In
Can't
the
do
supermarket.
gefilte fish.
That's always looked a little bit like a formaldehyde science experiment.
You like gefilte fish, Ariel?
My wife's family likes it. I'll take it or leave it. I'll never seek it out. I'll never order it.
One question I do have on the matzo ball, the tactic about going about it, do you break it up right before you go in?
No.
So it's like pieces?
No,
okay, so you scoop
it's
off
just
of
like
it as you work.
Piece. You're chopping away. You're chopping away. You're chopping away.
I crushed it all up. And
No, weird.
Okay.
You gotta enjoy the.
I'm a rookie, so
yeah. You should have asked. Weirdest matzo ball soup experience for me, no doubt, was when I had it at the. You know what I'm about to say?
Yeah.
When I had it at the ESPN cafeteria with Izzy.
Oh man.
You've seen this video? Izzy,
I haven't.
at some point is just like, yeah, I'm not really feeling the spoon. I'm just going to use my hands, and starts eating it with his hands. like takes the ball out of the soup, and it's just
listen.
That's the way he does it back home. Yeah, and I mean, I respected it. I've just never done it that way.
What I'll always remember about that is how much he loved the cafeteria food.
He loved
ESPN.
Well,
the cafeteria food at ESPN.
to be fair, that meal that we had was ordered.
it was catered
yeah,
out. Okay.
I mean,
you just happened to eat it into the cafeteria.
no. Well, the whole thing was that we were going to have matzo ball soup together, but they didn't. They don't really have that on the menu.
Yeah,
he
I
loved
the
it.
cafeteria.
He loved it. So
Yeah, that was a good one. So happy birthday.
Thank you.
It's good to have you here. So that's why I'm in a great mood. Sad mood, I will, so there's multiple mix of emotions.
okay, let's
Happy mood, birthday. Sad mood, no fight this weekend. Jake Paul fight canceled. Very sad about this. Selfishly, Showtime, MSG, big moment. I was going to host a press conference. They just told me on Friday that I was going to host a press conference. Then I was going to do the weigh-ins. Then I was going to do the event in the ring. I've never done that before. So sad. Don't cry for me, Argentina. These things happen, but I am bummed. Happy, though. Happy. So there's the mix of emotions. Happy, sad, happy. Our big guy, Mysterious Frank, is officially a part of the family.
Wait, I thought it was a part of the family before.
Well, it's official now.
Oh, okay.
The theater was at an all-time high. Yeah, something. Can we get something? No?
Breaking news.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, breaking news. It happened on
How
Saturday.
about
Celebratory music.
There we go.
Yeah.
That seemed appropriate.
What am,
So
I
he had
mean,
something right
I mean,
there.
should we just kick him back out? He's not taking the.
I feel like you were all in on the what was it called? Parlay Pals, the text chat that we had. You were all in, and you know what? Now I get it. Now I get why people actually partake in these gambling things, because I was more invested in the either success or plight of one Mysterious Frank on Saturday than I was in anything on Saturday night at UFC 277. For those that missed it, what happened was we did the first ever official MMA Hour parlay. We're now 2 for 2. So, they like to talk about the curses. They like to talk when you fail. I don't see anyone giving us our flowers for going 2 for 2 now.
How quickly people put curses on
I know.
the show. I mean, I wear a T-shirt for two fighters, and they're like, "You're a jinx, you're a curse."
I don't know what you guys are talking about.
GTFO.
You two are cursed.
We don't-
GTFO.
we don't talk about Ngannou winning. We don't talk about
Nothing.
Izzy being on such a huge win streak.
I'm telling you. Anyway, you had my guy won first.
Yep.
What was it? Michael Morales. Then it was your guy, right? Alexandre Pantoja wins.
Easy.
Then the Derek Lewis, a bit of a depressing finish, but still you get the nod under 2.5.
Easy.
And then all roads led to one Mysterious Frank.
The pressure was high.
Were you nervous?
You know what? I'd lie to say that I wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was definitely feeling it.
And look, give us the setup. Did you watch? Did you order it?
I ordered it. I watched it with the missus
Yeah. So is this the first time you ever ordered a pay-per-view?
for UFC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else would you order a pay-per-view
I don't know
for?
actually when I said that out loud.
Jake Paul. He ordered the last Jake Paul one.
That's right.
So you sat down, you're so invested in all of this, and you
Yeah.
said, I'm going to order this pay-per-view.
I was like, let's order this pay-per-view. We watched the whole card.
Wow, top to bottom, like
Top to
prelims
bottom.
too?
The
Wow.
early prelims, I was cleaning up a synthesizer, so I was
Okay.
kind of half paying attention.
All right.
But, then the actual prelims had my full undivided attention, and then the main card, obviously.
Wow.
The only thing that was distracting me besides the Parlay Pals was the tweets that were going out. That was pretty interesting.
By who?
But just the general community. I think everybody wanted to see if this was going to work out or
Oh,
not.
tweets
Yeah.
about, so that was,
Yeah, so it
encouraging?
It felt more like a community-driven thing than just a decision that we made.
Yeah.
The four of us. So it was cool.
Were you nervous?
I mean, as the fight was going on and those arm bars started coming out,
Yeah.
I was like, this could actually just flip. You know, Amanda looked great, but at the same time, like Pena wasn't giving up.
Right.
So it wasn't. That's why when we were done, I was excited, but I was like, it wasn't as clean as some of the other nodes on the parlay were the 2.5 ended in the first, right? Or if I'm remembering correctly. And then Morales was great as well. So this one was I felt like it was a little bit more tense, but it was good theater. It
was tremendous.
For all 5 rounds. It was pretty cool.
It was amazing that your leg of the parlay was last, so it all led to you. So now you're officially in, and I wanted to offer you this,
an offer.
Yeah, you're in. You can choose. Well, I want to ask the other 2 members of the Parlay Pals. about this idea. Should Frank now have to be involved in every parlay, or does he have the ability to come in and come out as he sees fit?
I hadn't anticipated this. Caught me off guard. I like the idea of Frank popping in when he wants.
Yes, I agree with that. He's already begging to get out because he, for some reason, doesn't have the excitement that I share for UFC Apex 59, both the tough finales as well. Huge card this Saturday.
Thank you for that.
He doesn't.
You already want out?
No, I think the truth of it is they want to retain some sort of control if they feel like I'm going to make a stupid pick.
Do you want in?
He comes over to my desk. He moseys over to my desk.
Don't listen to anything Connor's saying.
He moseys over to my desk this morning. What's up, man? Like, so do we have to do the parlay every single week, or like, can we skip this one?
Wow.
The question was, are you watching the game this weekend?
Let me just say this.
Yeah.
Because I saw some internet, some Twitter.com concern about like the serious.
Oh, please.
Parlay, right? Talking about like, it didn't seem like, first of all, some of this is done in real time, right? We're doing a show here.
Yeah.
There's some
Lighten up, pals.
theatrics to this. Second of all, if somebody, let me say this for the record, if somebody was making a parlay leg that I thought was not going to cash, that I thought was going to affect my,
You're stepping in.
I'm going to say something. As an example, Derek Lewis,
No, I don't know.
that wouldn't have been in the parlay if somebody had conceived.
No. That wasn't in the parlay because GC picked.
I know.
So actually,
if
the
it
one who
had-
deserves the credit for that is Jed.
for pushing it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, my alternative, the one I was eyeing was
Well, no, it's DraftKings.
over.
Jed. Oh yeah, Jed was actually saying that we could do it.
Yeah,
Take that back.
yeah, you're right.
Oh yeah. All right.
But
Forget
I
you,
was
Jed.
I was eyeing the over 1.5 for Nunes Pena at like minus 200, which also I think was a good one. Although it looked a little dicier in the beginning because Amanda dropped her so many times. But anyway, yeah, if somebody's gonna make a pick that I think is gonna tank our parlay, rest assured there will be a vocalization of it.
No mention of my pick a Jace Drakkar close.
Your pick a J.
I literally
on for the minus 600 pick.
Wow.
Listen,
There were, by the way, there were a few people that actually sent me a slip with Drakkar in it. Yeah.
yeah, next time make it the H out. Next time do something.
Was he an
Double
H
it
out?
up.
I don't think he was H out.
Yeah, but you
Double it up next time. Be like, you know what? I
When,
want Michael Morales and
All right.
when have you ever cared if they're actually an underdog? You can just pick them.
just quickly for people that don't know what it is. If
Yeah,
you can
please.
get this graphic up, just to
Yeah, let's recap
yeah.
this. Let's revel.
It's a big moment for us. All those haters.
Yeah,
They were
I
like,
mean,
oh,
plus
you didn't take it
207,
serious.
not bad. I mean, we're 2-0.
We have it. There it is.
I mean, look at that. Plus, we're up 3 units on this bad boy.
Wow.
Good.
We got. I mean, if we're putting a unit on each one, we got a few weeks to work.
My favorite was a few people saying like, "Thanks for getting me the pay-per-view. Like you covered my costs." You know, like
yeah,
yes,
that's
you're
always
welcome.
great. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Easy, light work.
Yeah, there it is. So Amanda Nunes money line. Frank nails it. Louis Pavlovich under 2.5 nails it. Michael Morales nails it.
Quick question.
And I'm just going through this 1 second. Pantoja nails it. Yes.
Why am I in color and everyone else is black and white?
I don't know because you're the big dog.
All right, then.
Can you see the color? I thought I pixelated this enough.
Yeah, I feel like the
Just there's a little
pixelated black
color
and
on
white
it.
might just look like a smudge. I
just
feel
a-
like you gotta
yeah.
kind of see.
Well,
a little bit
it's
of
a
it.
I'll
big
keep my
deal.
questions for the end of this.
Yeah, I will say I think my both my under 2.5s or both my under props. I think they've lasted a combined like 53 seconds
Right.
or something.
Now, so you guys didn't watch together, GC and Frank. I mean, there was a great response to the
He wasn't even in the state.
sleepover.
Yeah, I was.
Oh,
I
where
was
were
in
you?
New Jersey. Yeah,
New Jersey,
I was in New Jersey.
Alpine.
Yes, that is where I was at. Breaking down the fourth wall here, giving the exact location. Might as well say the address while you're at it.
Wow, is that really such a big deal?
It's become like a bit of a thing, you know. Me and one of my friends, we go golfing. You know, we trade buying each
See-
other around a golf for our birthdays.
Now
This
you
was
Wow.
that.
now you went too far into it. Now
Is
it
that
became
really
a thing.
is that really a thing? Like, should I not have said that?
No. I'm
Frank's
just
rubbing
kinda
off on you.
joking.
All
The
right.
actual city itself, though. But
Okay.
I did learn that I like to be in my own domain during pay-per-view cards.
Why is that?
So I went out there Saturday, you know, hung out by the pool, beautiful house in as you mentioned, Alpine, New Jersey. I mean, great place. And it was a whole family ordeal. I was over at my friend's house. The entire family was there. They had a big dinner planned for Saturday night. We're sitting out on these people's porch, and it's just this beautiful summer evening. But it's like 7:30, and the card had already started,
no.
and I'm not able to watch anything. And I'm sitting at dinner talking with grandma, and you know, Ji Yeon Kim, Jocelyn Edwards is on, and I am sweating whether or not the over 2.5 is hit or not. I can't watch any of the fights. At one point, my friend is like, all right, we're going to go in and watch the fights. And like the mom and sister were like, no. Like, what? You guys are already going inside? And I was just like, oh God. I was like, I need to get in front of the TV. It was, I learned quickly that I like to have control on pay-per-view days. It's an anxious feeling not being.
So when did you start watching?
The Drakkar Close fight.
Oh, perfect timing.
I streamed during appetizers and whatnot. Happy hour. I was.
What is this, like a full catered event?
Right?
This place was crazy. It was nice.
It was just like a regular. What was the occasion?
Did my invitation
Saturday
get
night.
lost on the couch? Or?
It was just a Saturday night.
Saturday night in Alpine, New Jersey. Yeah.
Did you consider inviting Frank? Could you imagine if you showed?
I think they were making these plans in front of me actually last week.
Yeah, we literally made the plan.
Here's my +1. Mysterious Frank shows up with a pixelated
Speaking
mask.
of learning things, some people on Twitter rode with us on the parlay.
Yeah.
But I noticed that their slip said for the under 2.5 rounds, said no fight to begin round 3. Like, is that just another way of saying the same thing?
No, that's like an alternate total.
Okay.
That would mean it has to end in the first 2 rounds.
Right.
That
So-
one's slightly different. They took a little bit of a different play there.
So, I mean, they're not really riding with us. Okay, cool. Got it.
I mean,
Didn't matter. Ultimately,
Didn't
those
matter.
both
Yeah.
cash. Those both cash.
what'd you go?
could've taken
Oh,
it
okay,
inside the first
let's
minute.
talk about this because there's a few things I need to ask you guys about. I said on Twitter while it was all happening, didn't love the stoppage.
No problem with it.
No problem.
Zero.
Why?
He ate.
Because and I may have done this rant. I may have not. I'll do it again. If everybody is going to be very concerned about athlete and fighter health and talk about preserving their brains and criticizing and going out of their way to overly criticize, in my opinion, the late stoppages and the referees having the toughest job possible and that stoppage was so late. These refs are terrible. I can't believe this guy let him do this. I can't believe this happened. Then this is the consequence of that. We're going to get stoppages that are not super clean. We're going to get stoppages that may be early. But also, we're going to preserve fighters. Like I can't hear the argument.
But was he out?
Let him take another
Was he out?
coffin nail. Was he getting out of that? Was Derek Lewis about to pop up and?
It
knock
actually looked
somebody
like he
out?
popped up.
Yeah, he popped up after he got his head bounced off the mat. He went face first down. That was a super bad looking way to fall.
Yeah.
And Derek Lewis does that, and
After
that's
eating
on
like
Derek
20
Lewis.
consecutive shots.
He was just going to eat coffin nails there. I'm so tired of the athlete health the going overboard in my opinion about this. Like, we have to protect the athletes. They don't know what's good for them. We have to protect the
Feels like
athletes.
you're taking a shot at me here.
I'm taking a shot at everybody who's on that side of the fence.
It just
This
it felt
is
like
fine.
a flash. Felt like he was good.
Oh,
Listen,
like a flash knockout.
Would you rather have that or him eat the shots?
Oh, of course, I don't want him to eat that.
So then
shot, but I thought he was good.
He was not good. He just face planted 5 seconds ago, not even 2 seconds ago, and he was there against a big heavyweight with a lot of power who was about to deliver some really hard shots to him. I'm perfectly fine if some of the stoppages look like this, if we truly are going to protect the athletes from taking further damage. It's too fine a line, and I'm really completely fine with it. I don't want. There's no need. That fight was not flipping around. Derek Lewis was not coming back to win that fight. Let's just be okay with stoppages that look a little bit like that. And to be honest, even if there wasn't as much talk about that being a fight where Derek Lewis could have come back and it stopped early, face plant like that and the stoppage is fine in my opinion.
No more Derek Lewis in Texas, please.
No more Derek
It's
Lewis
bad.
in Texas.
Yeah, it's-
Bit of a break. That's 2 in a row now. And then, of course, the Gane fight. So 3 of his last 4 fights in Texas, all lost via TKO or KO.
Yeah.
I love his walkout, though.
That was
amazing.
Also,
Some fat pat.
This
H-Town.
Yeah.
This is Derek Lewis. Like, he went on a long win streak,
Yeah.
or went on a win streak, but he's a killer be killed fighter. He's in there against every time he fights. He's in there against somebody who's able to knock him out, and he's able to knock them out every single time he fights. And he got knocked out. He'll be up next, and he might knock out the next guy. Like this is Derek Lewis's style of fighting. This is what you can expect.
I'm not ready to say he's done, though.
Yeah,
I
it's
remember a time where Andrei Arlovsky lost like 4 in a row via knockout 12 years ago in Strikeforce.
But yeah, and that's my point. Like Andrei Arlovsky is not that type of fighter, right? He's more of a technique fighter. He's circling around. He's trying to score points. Derek Lewis is in there to get murked or murk, and like he got murked. Next time he might murk somebody. That's it. Like I wouldn't write this as like an indictment on Derek Lewis. This is the style of fight that Derek Lewis fights. The next time he may be on the winning side of it against top guys. Like it wasn't that long ago he put Curtis Blades to sleep, and Curtis Blades is knocking on the door of a title shot. Like Derek Lewis is fine. These are the type of fights he's in. I'll watch him again. I'll watch him over and over and over.
No, he's
Derek
the man.
Lewis is awesome.
He's incredibly entertaining. You know what was my big takeaway from the whole event? Like just seeing Lewis's walkout, Moreno's walkout, then looking at the gate, 4.5 million, 21st straight sellout for the UFC. They are so blazing hot right now. Like the UFC can do no wrong in terms of their business, and the stars are getting over. I mean, like all of this.
The London event right before was the most profitable fight night they've ever had.
It's
in company history.
The last time they went to Dallas, which was Till Woodley, it did a little more. Jedi put this out. Shout out Jedi Goodman, like a little over 2 million. The gate, and the attendance was like, this was like 19 plus. Attendance was like 14 plus, if memory serves me correct. Like everything they do, they could go to any. And by the way, it's not like the cards are that much better than they were 2-3 years ago in terms of talent, in terms of depth. It's just the brand. It's a mix of things. The ESPN deal has been gigantic for them. They are now like in the mainstream consciousness. They're all over the place. They're on the bottom line. People are talking about them. The coverage is great. .com covers them more, blah, 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 blah. So that's number one. Number two, the rise of things like DraftKings and all these other, I think now Massachusetts just announced today that it's going to be legal. So I think that's 36 states, if I read that correctly. So like the rise of that has made it huge. The pandemic gamble paid off. It worked. They had like a 3-month, runway there where there was nothing else going on in terms of American sports. It's just on fire right now.
Yeah.
Really, really impressive.
And the events are mostly delivering. Like it was a good event on Saturday night, and the momentum will continue into Usman. I mean, there's other fights between them, but the next big opportunity is Usman Edwards.
Now let's talk
Usman
about
this weekend. 2 tough finales. Come on.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. God, have you watched a second of Tough?
I'm gonna get around to it.
As of right this second, Monday, August 1st, 1:31 p.m. Eastern, have you watched 1 second of Tough?
No.
Nope.
I have not watched a millisecond. I don't even watch when a clip is online, when I see something on Twitter.
I'll
watch that and
avoid it.
I will actively avoid it.
I've seen the clips. The basketball jerseys are sick.
I'll watch that and I'll read AK Lee's recap for MMA fighting, and that's it.
AK Lee deserves 10 bonuses for having to watch that. In your previous job, you had to watch it a lot, right?
I watched every single episode last season. Yeah, last season.
How bad was
every
it?
Single episode.
Come on.
It's very formulaic. It's just like not content that I would consume.
Wow.
Talk about the UFC being on fire.
Tough
as well at its peak.
Well, yeah. All of the content, it's like they can't get enough content on Plus. Okay, so then the big one was we did win, but I felt for you and your boy KKFGC.
Yeah.
Tell us the emotions. What was going on? Started off a little slow, down 2.
Started off slow.
But then
down
third
2 to
round.
1 judge. Did you see the scorecard that came out?
Yeah, well, just the way I was watching it.
I know. The way you were watching it, I actually thought the same thing. I thought he was down 2, but then he comes alive in the third round. I mean, he starts really looking good. Definitely got out of the seat when he had Brendan Moreno down, and he's delivering the blows that cuts him open right there. I was getting excited. I was like, all right, take the momentum from the third into the fourth, and then in the final minute of the third round, he gets the liver shot, and it's just like you knew from the look on his face, you knew from the way his body reacted that it was over. Like there was nothing he could do. I mean, it was just a perfectly placed shot by Brendan Moreno, and yeah. That was it. It was a bummer, man. It was a bummer. The way he was heating up to, and it just to end just like that. I was definitely bummed. I don't know what to do with the picture now. Now this is from 2 fights ago.
You're done with it?
No, I mean, I don't know.
It's just 1 fight ago. That's the Askarov fight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just 1 fight ago.
Well, it's not his last fight. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. You got to ride with your guy. You keep it up there until he gets another title shot.
I'm gonna still ride with him. What do we think? Roy Val next or something?
For him?
Yeah.
I haven't really looked at the Pantoja. It seems like
no.
I mean, Pantoja has lost to Figueiredo. People seem to forget that.
Yeah, I know, but
yeah, come on. Though.
I feel like he's gonna wait now. So you guys talked about walkouts. Derek Lewis, Pantoja. Biggest bet of the night for me was Pantoja, and the second he walked out to Many Men, I mean, you might as well cash it at that point. I was like, this is done, bro. He's high-fiving guys. He was walking out there high-fiving guys like the fight was already over. He made it look easy. Many Men is got to be a top-tier walkout song. when you're about to go get into a fight, when you're about to go choke someone out in the first round.
What about Alex Perez?
What do you mean?
Oh, Kai France, Alex Perez.
Oh, as a fight.
Yeah, Perez. I think Perez or Royval would be a good fight. I think Pantoja's going to sit on the sidelines till Moreno Figueiredo 4 happens.
I'll take literally, this is one of those. Anybody who's willing to fight Kai in Australia, that's the answer.
Oh,
Yeah.
man,
Whoever fights Kai in Australia, I don't care. Step up.
MMA hour, live show outside of Marvel Stadium.
Go.
But yeah,
I on set. I'll do the interview. You sit that one.
Yeah. No, I mean, he would have to return. It would be first quarter. That's what they're shooting for. All those guys need to be on that card. Moreno's such a star. Holy crap. This is the guy.
Everything.
When they put him in Arizona, when they put him in Texas, when they put him in these markets, obviously with a lot of Hispanic fans in attendance, it's so smart. Obviously, the number one thing they could do is put him in Mexico. They're not going to Mexico anytime soon. This is the next best thing. Yair Rodriguez sitting in the front row going absolute ape shit over there. Dude, Yair Rodriguez, I don't know if I've ever seen a fighter. I mean, they're friends. They're not training partners. That happy, that excited. It was beautiful to watch. And did you notice he's sitting like 3 people away from the city kickboxing guys?
Yeah.
So I don't know if part of that was like sticking it to Volk because, they've got their little thing.
I don't think so.
He was jumping around like crazy.
I think it was just genuine joy. I think he's probably happier for that than his own win. I think
it was beautiful.
That is.
We have it, right? We have it, GC?
We have the video, yeah. The one of...
the dude jumping around.
Because also, the city kickboxing guys, if Kai won, would have been doing the exact same thing. So I don't think it was anything like gamesmanship in that regard. I think they were that was pure joy from somebody who loves somebody, who saw them achieve something special.
I love the camaraderie between those city kickboxing guys. This is the footage right here, courtesy of
Gotta look
UFC
at the white
Espanol.
shirt right
White shirt guy, I don't know if white shirt guy is his look at that. He's like about to do a mosh pit thingy there. He's like taking down
when it's your boy, getting a win like that, it hypes you up, man.
Let me see it again because the white shirt guy is the most interesting guy. We were trying to debate, are they friends or are they not friends?
Angry.
No, I think he's trying to be like, yo, man, could you just chill out for a second? White shirt guy over here
there's
is
no
yo,
smile at all. Look at that. There's no smile.
Because there's a point where he hits him and then he kind of
it's like, yo, dude. Come on, man.
By the way,
the side glances, he keeps making
glances
at him.
I think he's worried he's going to do something with Volk.
Oh, that would have been crazy.
Little Easter egg. Right behind them is AEW star Keith Lee, the huge guy.
Yep.
Right behind him, who was also pretty pumped up.
I mean, Yair posted a picture with Volk on Instagram.
Yeah, I don't think there's...
No, but I think he just wants to fight, and he says Volk is, going.
You said you saw pictures of Yair with the guy in the white shirt.
I thought I did. Did I not?
I don't know. I can't find any.
Maybe I was wrong.
Can we? I know we're far removed from this, but Brandon Moreno was cut from the UFC.
Oh, it's incredible.
And then came back and has now been not only just one of the hottest fighters in the sport, but exciting. Every single time Brandon Moreno's in a fight, it's a can't miss fight. The dude has completely flipped his career around.
100%.
And it really is a very incredible, very unique story for a guy. And I think he was the last pick on Tough too. Yep. There's just so many things that have completely flipped in his career. So
the post-fight, not today, not tomorrow, but one day thing is one of the most. I mean, he's still wearing Reebok in that video.
Right.
That's he lost. He lost that fight and was talking about how he's going to be champion.
He was in World Fighting Federation in 2016. Gets signed to the UFC. Beats Luis Smolka. Beats Ryan Benoit, beats Dustin Ortiz, then loses to Sergio Pettis in Mexico, then loses to Alexandre Pantoja in Chile, and then gets cut, and then goes to LFA and wins their flyweight title, and then returns to the UFC, and then has this amazing run. First fight back in the UFC, Askar Askarov.
Yeah.
Fights him to a draw. Yeah, in Mexico, then the Kai France fight, and then just works his way up. It's an amazing story. And this was all also when they were going to get rid of the whole division. Now flyweight is on fire. Pantoja on the card. Just Schnell a couple of weeks ago on Long Island was incredible. Flyweight is on fire. Everything was great about it. I will say, though, and I'll say this to him when he joins us in about 22 minutes, Brandon Moreno, our first guest of the day, and then still to come, Davison Figueiredo. Also, at some point today, there's going to be massive breaking news. I just want to let everyone know at some point today there'll be breaking news.
There will be breaking news.
It's kind of like a thing where you have to play it if I say those words. But I thought post-fight it was a bit of a fumble because the UFC doesn't do that sort of thing anymore. They hardly ever bring in guys. Figgy's looking great there with that sweater. He's got the belt. He brings the belt.
Can I just talk about this? Hold on.
The sweater was
You're getting to a
fantastic.
serious point. What is it with the sweater?
I don't know.
It was a normal sweater.
No, it was
but
great.
This is 2 times.
It was
now
a
you
nice
mentioned the
sweater.
sweater.
There was something about it. I don't know what was on it. What was it
Best
like?
sweater ever.
What was it, like a cat or something? What was it?
A bear.
It's a nice design. but
Panther.
It's a sweater.
It was cool. And he's sitting there with the belt, which has to be annoying too. You're just sitting there with the belt the whole time. And they don't do this a lot. And I was like, you got to do it. For this fight, you got to do
the
it.
last one? The Brock and DC?
It's been a while. Brock,
been a
DC. Of
minute.
course, they used to do it all the time. There it is.
Yeah, this isn't the best picture of the sweater, but it looks like some
It's
sort
a
of
cool
black
sweater.
guy.
I don't know. He just looked awesome.
Nice color.
amazing. I've never seen
Wait,
it.
how much do you
Eyebrows.
think
Does he always do the red eyebrows with the God of War thing? I feel like that's new.
Not always. That is new.
How much do you think he weighs on Saturday?
150, 155 maybe.
Yeah.
Some people were saying 170, 180. I think that's
Oh,
a little
come
mean. That's a
on.
little mean.
180?
It's very mean.
That's crazy.
Waleed,
Come
who's
on.
texting you?
That's crazy.
People were saying it. Anyway, then he comes in, and you could see the look on his face. Like the guy was ready to throw down. Again, not throw down physically, but verbally. If you're going to come in, if we're going to have this moment, Brandon, not the time to be, good dad. Let's just be like, yo, man, I don't like you. You don't like me. We'll forget. That's it.
He had a
But
good reason though, right?
is his daughter really watching at 10 o'clock at night?
No, but he wants to be an example for her. I mean, for context, for people who missed it, after the fight in the post-fight scrum, he said he thought about going buck wild. He thought
Yes.
about letting the leash
I
off.
wanted Buck Wild.
And he thought about the fact that one day my daughter's going to look at this, or even now my daughter's going to look at this. She's old enough now. I think he said 8. And he doesn't want her to see her dad being stupid on TV, acting.
Doesn't mean you have to be stupid. Just be like, yo, man, I'm not impressed with you.
I kind of agree with you that I think the Heat would have sold better. At the same time,
I'm not saying push him.
I know what you're saying. You build it up.
Build it up.
Those 3 fights have been so good. This story is so good. I think no matter
A little
what,
juice.
I'm with you. I think I lean that way for sure. But man, those 3 fights were so good. Like
He walks in. Oh,
Is
are you really going to defend the belt? I mean, top of the broadcast, you have Joe Rogan just completely shitting on Figueiredo, being like, this is the real flyweight fight. He isn't coming down. Like, what? You always wonder in those situations, is Rogan being told to say that? Is he just coming up with this on his own? Is he carrying someone's what? I don't know. And then I know Figueiredo responded to it in his little scrum.
Yeah.
And he seems determined now to fight at 25. He seems like he is, going to make the weight. He says, just watch me, all this stuff. I just say something. You're looking a little bit doughy there. You're going to really, just poke the bear. I don't know. Give me something.
You call him fat and move on? Is that what you said?
I don't know, something.
you just want something. Yeah,
I wanted something that they could play in the package. These 2 guys, I mean, how many times have people fought 4 times for a title?
Never.
Guess what? Never. They've never fought 4 times for a
But
title.
isn't that enough? Is that enough?
I just wanted something. And then you see Dana saying afterwards that it was uncomfortable. I didn't think it was uncomfortable. In fact, I thought it was too friendly.
Well,
thought
I
it was too
think
friendly.
I'll say this.
Or disrespectful, he
It
said.
seemed a little more impromptu than the past ones. Like it seemed a little bit more like they were wanting to cut to Davison, and then he was like, "Let's go."
Yo,
do this.
they almost stopped Davison from coming into the cage.
That's what
The
I'm
poor
saying.
guy.
So I think Dana was probably thinking like, "This is Brandon's moment. Do we want Davison in the cage?" Now, as you've pointed out, they've done this many times before. It's not, it's part of the show. It's part of the theater. But I don't have a huge problem with it. But I'll say this. Here's what I'll say. For a casual audience, if you're trying to sell this pay-per-view, this next pay-per-view that they're going to be on to fans, pushing, shoving, yelling, screaming, fat boy this, that would have sold it to them.
Mm-hmm.
For the hardcores, like if you've seen any one of those first 3 fights, you're in already. These 2 make magic when they step in the cage together.
Do you think the UFC saw your tweet? That's why they let him in the cage.
100%. They have because they have that feed where they put the tweets up on the screen, but then they have a separate feed for me just to see, to take the temperature of the actual
Well, it's
people.
the old nose saying.
Yeah,
I saw your tweet, and then he jumped in the cage. I was like, wow.
Thank you
honestly,
for mentioning that, by the way. I appreciate
If
it.
he showed up in a different sweater, they might not have let him in. But the strength of the sweater.
Well, the best was when they cut to the shot of him trying to convince a security guard to get into the cage. I mean, could we not have cut to that shot there? It should have been
What
a
kind
little.
of cat is it on there? You're going to have to ask him later.
Yeah, Panther. So he did put out 8 Instagram stories in a row tagging me, and I thought it was him saying like, Helwani, yes, I saw your message. I thought he was going to say something like, I'm not coming on your show, but thank you to Guilherme. This is what he said. I'll be talking to Ariel Helwani today, and Brandon Moreno will also be on this live show as well, and I think it's going to be fire. I'm not his friend. I know we still have a war to do, and I can't be friends with him. See, that's what I'm talking about, Figgy. Figgy gets the art of promotion. Anyway, I added that, not him. I can't be friends with him because he's done something to me that's unforgettable. Whoa. Maybe we can be friends after this fight, but before we have this fight, watch it. The war is about to begin. Today is going to be the first contact we have since we spoke into the article. By the way, did someone tell him that they're going to be on together? Because now I'm starting to regret not booking them together.
He's on at 3.
I know.
He's on at 2.
Don't tell anyone. Let people believe that. I respected him. It was his moment, and now I have him as a rival. We'll fight and put on a show for you guys. I won't call him names, but won't be friends either. It's time to work. That's what I'm talking about. A little fire, Figgy.
Yeah, Figgy definitely wrote all that for sure.
No. He spoke it.
He said it.
He said it. And then Guilherme translated it.
You hater. He says it into the camera.
Well, he actually posted it without tagging you, all 8 videos, and then
did it again?
Posted it with the tag. Like I said, the social game is
I love that guy. I love that guy. So we're getting that. And then it looks to me, I reached out to Valentina yesterday. I said, what'd you think? I saw her little dicey tweet.
Mm-hmm.
She said something to the effect of, what'd she say? It looks like Amanda copied my game plan.
Her
style. Striking style. I think she was talking about going southpaw, something like that. Anyway, it was nice. And I said, I think it was last week, I felt like she all of a sudden went a little lukewarm on the idea. Like 2 interviews ago, it seemed like she was all in on going up. Then the next time we spoke to her after the Long Island event, after Miesha Tate loses, it seemed like she wasn't that into it. It felt like she's like, if they come to me. Yeah. Now, I'm starting to feel like she's back into it. But Valentina, very smart businesswoman. She's like, if they come to me, I'll consider it. So she's not tipping her hand, but even Dana at the post-fight press conference was like, ooh, good idea. Like he thought of it for the first time. We haven't been talking about it for 2 years. This is the time to make it. The gap is closing between her and the rest of the flyweights.
Do it.
Nunes getting up there in age. They are both beatable at this point. You got to make the fight. It's the biggest fight. Valentina afterwards, have her go back down. There's no one at 35 other than Caitlin Vieira. There's literally no one at 35 for Nunes to fight. And at 25, you have Grasso and Araujo coming up. You have Manon Fiorot coming up. Let the winners of those 2 fights meet, buy some time, and then you do this at the end of the year. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm 100%.
Well, Santos is still going to be out for a while. She's got the broken orbital.
What she said to you though in the last conversation, not the one from 2 times ago, was, show me something, make it worth my while. I'll say Amanda Nunes showed something. I'd be more interested in Amanda Nunes after that performance to show, hey, the ship is righted. That was a blip. That was an aberration. Like,
now's the time to make it.
I'm back on track.
I agree.
I'm down for Valentina versus Amanda. But honestly, I don't think that's a good fight for Valentina. I really don't.
You're crazy.
I really
don't. You don't think Valentina can win that fight?
I don't.
The problem here's what I fear for Valentina. She's now a flyweight, right? And she's always been a small bantamweight. Nunes is a big gal, and also looked great. Credit to her, her new team. Great. She was in great shape. I feel like, as crazy as it may sound, the size might actually be a bigger factor in this third fight than the second fight, especially if they try to do it quick. Like, obviously, they're not going to do it next month. And Amanda got pretty beat up in this fight. You see her afterwards. Yeah. Can't imagine how she looks today. Obviously, she won. There was no controversy, nothing. No. She's probably going to need some time. I don't see it happen. If they're going to Brazil, if it's true they're going to Brazil at some point, I doubt they go for a big pay-per-view this year because you got the November MSG card, and then typically they go December to Las Vegas. I could see them maybe going January to Brazil, some of the first quarter-ish. They've also got Australia on the calendar. I would love to see a scenario where it's Amanda finally fighting in Brazil as champion again, and maybe Figgy and Moreno in there. We'll see what happens with Oliveira, but this is the time to do a fight card like that.
Let me ask you something as a point of comparison. Israel Adesanya going up to light heavyweight to fight Jan Blachowicz after being a dominant champion in his weight class. Did he lose momentum? No effect to his momentum? Like, how do you feel ultimately that experiment netted out?
Didn't love it.
I could see a very similar scenario for Valentina.
But there's nothing going on. There's nothing going on right now. And she kind of won by the skin of her teeth in the last fight. And it sort of feels like the gap is closing a little bit. Izzy was on some kind of roll, and I feel like it made him look a little more human, even though it was 205.
Tell you what, sounds exactly like the same story.
But isn't that what just happened against Tyler Santos? She looked pretty damn human in that fight.
fair? But I mean, a win.
Izzy didn't have a loss like that, or a win like that was kind of viewed as a
That's true.
loss.
At 85, he has not looked. The last what Gastelum? Like, when's the last time he looked like he was even in much peril? It's been a minute.
Yeah. I do also feel like going against Nunes. Like, I feel like there is like maybe like more at stake for the legacy of like Valentina. Like, if she can beat Nunes, like I feel like that makes an argument for the GOAT. Whereas Izzy went up and fight Jan. Like,
There was no story there.
I don't think Jan is
that
the
I agree.
like,
It was
light
nothing.
heavyweight GOAT.
Here's the problem with that, though. It could also be the legacy of she now lost 3 times.
True, which
Amanda,
makes it like
which makes it-
solidified.
Dare to
She's
be
not
great.
even in the conversation.
Dare to be great.
I like that. I like that.
Dare to be great.
Listen,
Dare to be great in 2022.
I think it's the most interesting and intriguing fight Valentina Shevchenko can get.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a good fight for her. I
That's
think
all
she
right.
don't.
You
That's
think
all right.
are there odds for that yet?
No,
She'll be the dog for sure.
I would imagine there are
she's a
odds
flyweight.
for a potential Nunes Pena 3. Nunes opening at -700.
Okay, that's fine. By the way, I don't see enough people talking about that. For the record, Valentina first, in my opinion. What I would do
think
is
so.
Valentina first, have Juliana fight someone else in the bantamweight division. Not a terribly tough fight. I don't like the idea of Holly Holm. Holly Holm's on the last fight of her contract. If Holm beats Pena and walks out, like what happens then? But you fight a mid-tier bantamweight, you get her a win, and then she's right back in there. I always thought, believe it or not, they screwed Matt Serra by not doing the third GSP fight. I don't know why you can't have the third fight when it's and by the way, we have to update our stat about the person who loses the belt and the immediate rematch and all that stuff because Amanda was able to reverse that a little bit. But to me, you have Amanda fight Valentina, Juliana fights someone else, and then she fights the winner of that fight, regardless of who it is, because she could avenge a loss on either side. She has a loss to Valentina, and now she has a loss to Amanda. Juliana should not be far away from getting another crack.
I like what you said. Go Valentina.
And by the way, if they don't do Valentina, if Valentina says, I want to stick around at 25, I like Grasso. Grasso looks tremendous on August 13th. I like it. It could be a big fight, great for Latin America, whatever. Fine. I like Juliana Amanda 3 over Amanda and Caitlin Vieira.
Caitlin Vieira, yeah.
Juliana Amanda 3.
Yeah.
Why not?
I'm not mad at that. I mean, the one reason for why not is when you get 50-43 in a championship fight, that's a rough.
What's worse, 50-43 or stopping her?
Yeah, no, you're right. She has a stoppage win over her. I think more people would lean on the side that won't happen again versus look, I think it's sellable. 100% I think it's sellable. I think it's tough.
Juliana's a star. By the way, that picture of her with her daughter, I mean, I must have stared at that for an hour. That was incredible.
Incredible stuff.
I'd love to know, I didn't ask her this, I'd love to know if her daughter just did this on her own, if they talked about it beforehand. Like when you walk up there, just the visual of the daughter having her back and emulating her, we've never seen anything. We've seen kids go up there and whatnot, but we've never seen her so innocently, any child just walking behind mom, dad, and doing that. That was just beautiful.
I hope she just did it naturally.
Yeah, whatever it was great. It was tremendous. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. She's a star, and I feel for her because no one likes to lose that first title defense. I would be down for a third fight.
Which is a bigger fight, the third fight with Pena or the third fight with Valentina?
Not even
Valentina.
Do you think there's a route to the third fight?
For Juliana?
Yeah.
Yeah, just win one fight.
Just one in between.
By the way, it's 2 scenarios. It's either, and to answer your point, like 100% it's the Valentina fight. Of course. It's not even a question. But Valentina, if I had the pencil, as they say in the business, or the book, Valentina, Amanda 3, end of the year, early next year, depending on if they're going to Brazil. Juliana fights someone else. Juliana wins. She gets the winner of that fight. No questions asked. Yeah, can't stop it. Yeah, like I don't know.
Greatest track ever.
Someone like I don't know. I'm looking now. Like I wouldn't do Caitlin Vieira. An Aspen Ladd. A Yana Kunitskaya.
Come on, man.
What? A Misha Tate. Hey, no, they're friends. That'd be a good story though.
It kind of.
Oh, you're saying for Pena. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I
thought you were saying for
Nunes.
If there's
No.
Shevchenko.
I'd kind of be into the friend versus friend who's going to get a title shot. We're kind of propelling each other. I'd be into that.
No, they're not going to do that.
I don't think they'd do it, but I'd be into
Now, if it's not Valentina and for whatever reason Juliana doesn't do it, then of course it's going to be Caitlin Vieira. I just don't think there's any momentum there. A lot of people thought that Vieira lost to Holly Holm.
Yeah.
I just don't see anything.
You're right. The momentum in each division is kind of a little halted, right? Like there is a good opportunity to do it. And I wouldn't mind it. I wouldn't mind it.
I hope now with Nunes as champion, I doubt it's the case. I hope she embraces being champion a little bit more. And I don't know. I just feel like she's
Felt like she didn't?
No. She doesn't like to do media. She doesn't like to put herself. She just shows up on fight week. I feel like she should be a much bigger star.
Casey proposing Pena versus the Aldana Macy winner.
Yeah, it's fine.
I don't know. I feel like.
And also, what is that 145 title? I mean, like, what are we going to do about that?
Jeez.
Just walking around with it?
I feel like of all the champions, she is one of the ones who
like. Do you just get to
takes the
become champion for life?
responsibility.
When does she have to defend it? There's no rankings. Who is she going to do?
I mean, this belt that I'm wearing here is more active than that belt. I mean, it's like I'm just saying.
I think this week she said at media day or press conference.
She did. Yeah, she was going to leave the cage and tell Dana she wanted to go up.
She wants to go up to the next.
To fight who?
That's the thing. There's literally
I don't know.
No rankings.
There are no
like
fighters in that division, so I don't know what
the only fight is Kayla.
Well, it's not happening, but yeah.
By the way, who's going to PFL this Friday? It's in New York.
Oh, is it?
MAR outing?
Maybe. Let's see.
It'll be nice.
Are we meeting at the Hulu Theater?
That's where it's happening.
On a Friday?
It was going to... Oh, you're working?
No, I was just curious. What?
No, it was going to be a big weekend
Friday.
in New York. It was going to be Friday, PFL.
Talk about this fight? Or like
Saturday,
the fight
MSG.
falling apart?
Oh, yeah. We could talk about it.
All the...
It's a lot of drama.
The drama? Yeah.
A lot of drama. They said it was going to be 200. Then they wanted 205. Then they said no to 205.
They
then 215.
being Rockman's team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, from what I understand, Jake was the one who was saying, like, let's just do it. And the team was like, okay, now it's getting a little crazy. In retrospect, it was probably a lot to ask a guy who had never fought under 220 as a pro to make 200, let alone 205. It's a huge bummer because now it's 2 dates at MSG that fell through. So it kind of hurts his stock there. And of course, Dana's going to take the shot and say that somehow blaming this on Jake's people, and the shot is at Nikisa Badarian. Yeah. Nikisa Badarian, for those that don't know, and I feel like we've talked about this once before, was never an accountant at the UFC. He was the chief strategy officer, pretty big deal, for about 4 years, and then was the CFO of the UFC. And if you actually go back, because I did, and look at all the press releases and all the stories about when they sold the company for $4.025 billion, he was like the top name mentioned on the UFC side of things, like in terms of like the advisor for getting this deal done. He wasn't the dude who was sitting there like, I don't know what an accountant would do at a company like that.
Accounting, yeah.
That's his lone shot, and I think Dana views it as somewhat insulting or like a betrayal that this guy who used to work for the company is going against him, or even daring to be in the business of fighting. Lest we forget, Dana White was a bellman. Dana White was a Tai Bo instructor. Like he was a part-time MMA manager teaching 45-year-old women how to throw kicks and punches. If anyone actually knows more about the fight business, it's this guy who was in the room for 4 years and then went to work for Fertitta for 2 years before getting into all of this.
Cannot argue with anything you said there. 100% truth. I would push back on the idea that like that's all that it's just because he's daring to go. Jake Paul, his athlete who he is
100%.
managing, is taking direct shots at Dana White. It's not just passive like he's daring to be in business. They are actively taking shots at UFC and Dana White, which is hey, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Like that's okay. That's how you do competition. But yeah, they're coming for him. Clearly. And he is firing back.
Sure, but the accountant line.
The accountant thing
he
is
used it on
very
Saturday night.
personal.
He was like,
but it's such a weird insult.
Yeah, what did he say? Just because you were an accountant here for a few months doesn't mean you can do the
It's basically a who the fook is that
CFO.
guy. That's
Right.
what it is. He's trying to minimize.
Yeah,
It's like
right,
a fifth grade
course, yeah.
playground insult.
Yeah. Agree.
Just
I agree.
I don't know.
I mean, it works.
Does it work? Does anyone view like? By the way, I'm super impressed by accountants. I could never do what an accountant does. Like,
I know many. I have a few friends.
They're very smart people.
You know more than the person who's on the watching the YouTube stream.
Sure.
They don't know these things. Of course, they're gonna be like, oh, the account, all right.
I can't lie. Until you just explained all that, I thought he was.
So
just an accountant.
You really thought he was?
It works.
Come on.
It works.
No, this dude was in there. He was in the mix. Now, I can, to your point, 100%. I can understand why it's personal. It's just a weird line. And also, let's not pretend like fights fall through all the time. I guess my thinking was, why was this
not? This was not Jake Paul's fault or Jake Paul's team's fault. Not even close. The one thing you said it, which is, could you have maybe picked an opponent who very clearly could have made weight? Sure. They picked a big fight that they thought would propel him forward, and the fighter agreed to the terms and could not meet the terms. For me, it's very clear. It's clear as day.
Right.
He agreed to terms. The commission, Jake Paul's team, were willing to be flexible to a certain degree. He was so far outside of what those terms were, he could not meet them. And the fight dissolved. That is as clear as day what happened, and it's not Jake Paul's fault.
I think we now have to pivot. It's either, you see, the Nate thing is going to take too long to materialize because he's going to fight in September, and then there's going to be the 3-month exclusive period and blah, 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 blah. I think we got to look at Anderson Silva.
That
I think we got
How
to.
is this the consolation? That's what I don't understand. This should have been the fight all along. Just do it.
Here's the problem with Anderson Silva.
He's not a boxer.
No.
He's not a
The
boxer.
problem with Anderson Silva is Anderson Silva has this contract with Triller that is very restrictive.
Okay. But can we finally end this like he's not a boxer talk? In fact,
No,
I would
no.
argue that Jake Paul at this point would much rather do business with somebody who's an MMA fighter than somebody who's a quote unquote boxer.
The MMA guys have shown up.
They've shown up. These are the problems that you get into when you're fighting a boxer. We don't need to prove anything about Jake Paul beating a boxer. Let's just see a fight.
Yeah.
Let's just see a fight at this point.
And Mazel Tov to Tyron Woodley, by the way, who showed up
twice.
Once on two. I mean, the dude showed up. Here's the other thing. There's I think you said it in the text. Like, there's a freaking huge bag just sitting there, and no one seems to want it. No one seems to want to fight this guy. Like, even when this fell through, did you see anyone on Twitter being like, I'll fight you on 7 days' notice? I will fight. Did anyone say that?
There was like a few, but it was nobody like who was going to really get the fight.
Scared of him.
Like me? Like someone like me saying it?
I think Chael tried to like a
Chael?
mini.
I'd be down for that. I'd be down for that in a second. But I mean, Woodley.
Nobody
We would
wants
need
to
a
fight
build up
this guy.
to a Chael Jake Paul fight.
Give Chael 7 days.
Nobody wants to fight this guy, and I don't buy that it's because they're scared of him. But like, they should be
There's
running
a lot.
toward this
but
fight.
wait, but I don't think they're scared of him. But like, like to lose to him is
Sure, reputation on the line.
Yeah,
just
reputation
ask
killer.
Askren and Woodley.
Yeah. I mean, especially if you're an unknown, like 6 or 7
Askren and Woodley are
boxer.
doing all right, I think.
Yeah.
I think they did okay on the exchange.
Woodley got engaged today.
Oh,
Congratulations to Tyrone.
One of my favorites,
Legend.
one of my all-time favorites on the show.
Yeah, it's such a bummer. But I wonder what the play is here because
Somebody grabbed the bull by the horns, grabbed the brass ring. I think they say that in WWE.
Yes.
Look for an opportunity to get a fight with Jake Paul. It's not hard. Do something. Somebody just grab this bag that he's offering and get the fight. It's out there.
But
Jake
next
Paul's just
weekend,
waiting.
confirmed off.
Off.
All right.
I will be home.
I'll be
We
at
could
City
talk.
Field.
Oh wow. Okay.
Braves Mets.